a fortune. I'm on a will and justice, but trying to make a fortune. Call me down bad with the straps, no extortion. Used to move them babies, they was live, no abortion. Running from the boys, had to leave a few more. Running out of time, running out of my portion. People by the time, but could be saved right alone. Don't know my reason or my rhyme, how could I say more?
And we must not fall, we must not fall. And we must not fall, we must not fall.
Yeah. What up, though? We at episode trade. We at episode trade. We at episode trade. Push the rock today. Yo, and I'm Jay. One blessed. Yeah. What up, though, y'all? Yeah. Welcome to Push the Rock Podcast, where this is revelation for the nation. Another Crown of Glory 360 production. You know what I'm saying? Another Yahweh production. You know what I'm saying? So we here, you know what I mean, on episode 3, God willing. You know what I mean? All praises to the Most High God and His Son Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Yeah, man, we here this weekend, man. Hey, man, I'm really interested since we going live, man. If anybody is on this live, I'm interested in a lot of y'all tuning in today. We gonna put the link and the link the link description in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Because I really want some people to come in and speak on this. A really hot topic right now. I hate my baby mama. Now what? Right? And I know from reading the title, it's like, oh, this drama. Nah, this just like I know a lot of people feel and maybe feel anchored in this way, and they might feel some type of way about their baby mama, and it's for the baby daddies too. It's just titled "I Hate My Baby Mama." You might hate your baby daddy, right? So let's give a little description of what we're talking about. But before we even jump into that, I want you to know where you can find us at every week, every social media site. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Crown of Glory 360. Also, YouTube /Crown of Glory 360. You know what I'm saying? Where you catch us like, share, subscribe, comment, and smash the notification bell. Where you can be notified when we drop content every Wednesday, every Friday, and every Saturday. You know what I'm saying? That's Kingdom Culture. That's Push the Rock Podcast. And that's Crown of Glory 360 Podcast, where we big church. You know what I'm saying? The Yahweh, the blessed way, the Yahweh. So thank you for tuning in. And so like I was saying, the title of this show this week, and I want y'all to tune in. Like I said, we're going to shoot you the link in the description box very shortly so you can come in. You come in on live and talk with us on the subject. But this when we talking about relationships with unwed parents, the struggles of co-parenting when you're not in a monogamous relationship, or you're not married with the other parent. We will discuss views on child support, the weaponization of children against the other parent, and the importance of two-parent household. Also, deep dive in the detriment of broken households, baby mama drama, baby daddy drama. And just because we had a bad relationship don't mean that we got to have a bad relationship with our children. You know what I'm saying? I got bad, and also for a really, really big and hot and controversial topic that's been going on. I got mad baby mamas. Is that something to hold up as a trophy, or is that trouble and trauma? So we really gonna touch on that, and as always, bringing the show in. I got my I got my demigod and semi-devil on my shoulder to play the contrarian at times to kind of aid me in this ride right here, man. This really, man, this really exciting. So if you tapped in right now, you know what I'm saying, this is the Push the Rock Podcast, episode 3. I want you to feel comfortable to be able to tap in on this conversation. Like I said, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna talk about do you hate your baby mama or your baby daddy, and why such disdain for that baby mama or baby daddy, or do when I bring my kid McDonald's, do I buy the other kids McDonald's if they ain't my kids? And what and just a lot, there's many layers to this conversation. I'm gonna talk about me personally and my experience in fatherhood and my struggles. I became a father at the age of 18 years old. My first child is 23 years old. Yeah, I'm an older guy now. You know what I'm saying? And I think I could just go back to before She said, "What up, Nakenya?" She talking about
This podcast
What
is
up?
sponsored not in part
What up,
by
Nakenya?
you welcome to tap in. We'll send you the link. We shoot links out today. But yeah, man,
Link posted in the description.
the link is posted in the description. And you know, if I know you personally, you want me to shoot it out, just I shoot it to your inbox, man. That's how we do it. Shoot that to my inbox so I can shoot it to other people if they want to come in. But yeah, man. Hey, this is a very, very, very controversial topic. You know what I'm saying? And I had my shares of ups and downs with my baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? I still struggle with some struggles because I got younger kids and older kids, and the baby mama plight is never over with, especially venturing off in the marriage. Like, how do you handle having baby mamas and you got a new spouse, a new boyfriend, new girlfriend, or you got a wife? What's the difference? Is it a different dynamic if you got a wife? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to a girlfriend. Like, when does your wife get the she said I'll stay in the comments. When does the wife get to meet the kids or whatever? Don't worry about it. Throw your hoodie on, B. You know what I'm saying? But you know, just thinking about all the things that entails having children and bringing children in. I have a hurricane aftermath here. LOL. But yeah, so
Yeah, shout out to all my people down there in Florida.
yeah, we praying for y'all. Definitely, we keeping y'all lifted up.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, you know, man, definitely. What up, Kane Cotty? Definitely, definitely, man. It's heavy, man. It's a lot of broken homes. I could just start for me from the beginning. I remember being little. I knew one married couple, and that was my uncle and aunt. My uncle Kit, my uncle Jerry, and my aunt Kitty. They've been married for like 50 something years or something like that. Really long time. You know what I'm saying? But that was and my aunt Angie and my uncle Jerome. Like, there was the only two, but they were distant. Like, they lived in the a longer, far away neighborhood than when I lived in. And most of the people I knew and grew up with, they was living in single parent households. It was only the mama, mostly the mamas. You might have a few people that live with their daddies, but in any case, it was only single parent. And you know what I'm saying? So I think in the beginning, what you see and what you learn is, if not cultivated, that's what you become, right? And so, you know, I had my first baby. Yeah, so had my first son. I had my first daughter at 18. And you know, just like we can go back to now, I already didn't have nobody to raise me how to treat women. So, you know, I just went about that whole thing the wrong way. So, you know, I met my first baby mama in junior high school and middle school. And, you know, we rocked out for a couple years, and, you know, we had premarital sex. You know what I'm saying? I was already having sex at an early age. And, you know, just, you know, we look for love and we look for acceptance, and we have these voids that we need to fill before we have this relationship with God. Or if we don't have the other parent, or we don't have other siblings, we always looking for something. And to be honest, if I look back now, I was always thinking that, you know, I rock with this girl, and, you know, having a baby would make me feel, I don't know what the word is, complete. I don't know, like feel, it would make me feel, having a baby would make me feel, I don't know the word. It would make me just feel like I got somebody to love me, like I can love them. I don't know but it was just crazy, my thinking then. And also, you know, They say a chick I have a baby with you to lock you down. Dudes do it too. Dude put a baby up in you thinking that you won't find nobody else. Am I guilty of that? Yes, I'm not gonna say it's either a yes or no question. You say somewhat sort of, yeah. Because just like she have a baby by you, I don't think my first baby mama wanted to have a baby, and especially by me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying it like I just don't think she was ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Her temperance and her makeup wasn't that. Like she was. Matter of fact, I kind of curved her out of Tom. She was a tomboy when we was rocking, and she was just, she just liked boys, and she was coming out of that. But she has manly. I ain't saying like she a dude, but she had mannerisms. She was a tomboy, so. I know the baby thing wasn't on her bucket list, but I was in love with this girl, so I'm like, hey, we've been rocking all these years. We have a baby. That's just complete the, you know what I'm saying? What we gonna do? Cause for real, I didn't know nothing about marriage, but I knew that marriage was somewhere down the line, and maybe even her. And so maybe I had it backwards, man. Maybe I thought we go together, we have a baby, then we get married. So when you don't know the rules to the game and how it go, that's how it goes. So, I'm just being transparent. I might sound crazy right now or sound like I was simping, you know what I'm saying, to the hoes from my community. But those were my thoughts then. Like, that's my ride or die. We together, and but maybe she wasn't ready, and she wasn't, and I wasn't ready to be a parent either, because neither one of us was responsible. Neither one of us had a plan, and neither one of us had a relationship with God yet. And so, jumping off into that thing, man, it was crazy, man. Like, and when I decided to make this episode, I know from the title, it looks like that I hate my baby mama. Like, this is gonna be the beginning of me attacking my baby mama. It's total opposite. This show is about me taking accountability for my actions and the things I've done to create these situations. First of all, I got seven baby mamas, 8 kids, right? Right? I'm just being transparent. And one, I even from the first one, I feel ridiculous now as a father, not having a plan, not having everything that a child needs before they come into the world, or at least a good foundation and starting point to getting them where I could take care of them properly. Man, I went through so many different stages of my life, and my two or three oldest kids is a product of that of who I was then. Of who I was then. So, I was trying to find my way. I wanted to be a rapper. I was working temporary jobs. You know what I mean? I couldn't hold a job longer than 3 months. Then I was selling weed. Then I was selling crack. Then I was selling all type of drugs, just trying to find my way. You know what I'm saying? Then I got older. I started getting the foundation in my Nino Brown fantasies, right? And I said, okay, I love my kids. I'm gonna buy them whatever they want. And so as the baby mamas start to multiply, I became the weekend daddy. I had my own spot, you know what I'm saying? And but I was going back and forth to jail, and I was just so my mind was crazy. Like, I had long left the gang banging stuff alone, but now I had a new thing. I'm getting money, and this was a new evil. This was a new thing that I was doing, hustling. And you would think that I had a few kids at the time. You know what I'm saying? I had my second kid at 20. So you would think that once I got out of prison, I went to prison. I had my first baby when I was 18, and I had to turn myself into prison at 19. I got out going into to the age of 21. And you would think that I was able to get an apartment when I got out, and I had to go through some struggles first, right? I had to go through some struggles first. I had a little stint of homelessness, and you know what I'm saying, and because my mama, she wasn't playing this. You grown, and yeah, I let you. You just got out of jail, and I let you stay around. But my mama put me out before I was grown, so I just went to jail. And when I got out of jail, that was the only place I had to go at the time, and so I went to my mama's house. She let me stay, and then circumstances presented themselves where I had to go, and I had to go, so I left. And along that journey, I created more children, being irresponsible, but the one that I hadn't even laid a foundation. I hadn't even had nothing set up for her and my baby mama where they were straight. You know what I'm saying? And often we come home from jail feeling like it's everybody else's fault and they owe us. And it used to. Now that I think about it, it's crazy how I remember how we would come home from jail, and if you go back to the block there, you expect everybody had throwing a pot, I had some money for you. Your peoples or your girlfriend or whoever you messing with, they take you shopping. Man, look, man, at this point, nobody owes you nothing. And you got kids. You just left your kids. Like, I swear, when I used to get out of jail, my first thing was I want to see my kids. But I was also thinking, like, how I'm going to get back to the money. Blessings.
Peace.
Let me know who that is, because it say Facebook user. I think that might be Alan. But yeah, man. Oh, that is. I think that's Alan on my phone. It ain't showing up on yours though. But yeah, man. It's crazy, man. So I just think about all the stuff I went through and all the stuff I carried them women through. Just being ignorant and just being and just being blind and selfish, man. So, I got my first baby mama. That was my I guess you would call high school middle school, high school / sweetheart. And I knew nothing about relationships. I'm telling you, just like we talked about on the episode about Quando Rondo. My father figures and big brothers was rappers, and the first rapper I ever got hip to when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old was Too Short, and then my second, and all through that it was
Rico Champion. All you listened to was Rico Champion.
was B's and H's, B's and H's, and they ain't nothing but H's and tricks, and you know what I'm saying, just. So all through growing up, that's all I was learning. I didn't have a man in the house to filter out that or tell me like, nah, bro, that's the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? My uncles, they was living their lives and doing them. I ain't have a strong foundation of a man to tell me like, nah, this is how you get down with women. Everything I learned how to treat a woman in the beginning, my mama taught me. She taught me, hey, I don't care that your sister older than you. When y'all walk on the sidewalk, you make sure she walk on the outside, the inside of the sidewalk. So if the car jump the curb, it gets you first because you the man, right? You heard
it gets you first, not you can protect her.
Push her out the way or something. Yeah. The same thing. It's gonna hit you first. You're gonna protect her, and and also she taught me, hold the door for the ladies, pull their chairs out, and just the little things and the other manners that she taught me. I didn't have a man to teach me any of that. What men taught me, the men that I knew, who I looked up to, they was all rappers, and they all taught me exactly how to do everything the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So even in having these little relationships where we supposed to be boyfriend, girlfriend, and I was always thinking I was slick because I was always thinking the wrong thing was the right way, to be a player, to be this, to overdo it, to have all the girls in competition. I used to call Rico with a lot of different stories about me and my rendezvous with the girls, or, you know what I'm saying? It was a competition to try to who could get the most girls, and, which translated to me later on, man, because, I'm a little charismatic. I knew how to talk a little bit. I was a little slick, and I know how to talk to the girls, you know what I'm saying, make them laugh. And so that was a part of my character. And I started having babies, and you know what I'm saying? Obviously somebody didn't teach me how to use rubbers, or I just didn't want to. I was out here tripping. And so by by my second baby, I had my own apartment, and I hadn't been introduced to child support. I only used to hear about it. And then my first baby mama started threatening me with child support. And I was like, telling my mama, like, man, she tripping. She keep threatening me with child support, and I be doing this and doing that. And I always got my daughter, and my first daughter, I used to baby her till when she was even like a little kid, like after she came out of baby stages. And I was thinking my weekend daddying and me buying her whatever her mother requested was enough. And I went with her. And when I came home, she had a dude. So I was like, so what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? But every time we get into her, she wanted something, she threatened me with child support. And my mother and her and her the wisdom that she gave me was, won't you just go down there and put yourself on child support? And I was like, okay. And I did it. Right. The only thing, I was ignorant. I didn't have the wisdom, the knowledge that I had now to, okay, when you get it, you got to pay it. Now I put myself on child support, and I found myself acting like she put me on there, but I was just mad because she kept threatening to me. So I felt like I beat her to that. But once you put your fate in the hands of the courts, which I did not realize. And she didn't threaten me no more. She said, "You're dumb. I would never go put you on there. I was just messing with you." You know what I'm saying? But now that you're on there, then in my second child, I questioned paternity. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that if I would have never found a girl, never said nothing to her, that I would have never been on child support either. So I kind of put myself on child support twice there. And it's like when they get on it, they get busy on you. They got the second one, she got busy on me, like busy. Like when I say busy, I'm talking about, man, listen, like still running up a check. So my get back was I put myself on child support just not to pay the child support and still do what I was already doing, be the weekend daddy and be the daddy to buy them stuff per request instead of paying the child support and remembering what the magistrates told me. It don't matter. You don't bring me no receipts down here. We don't care what you say you bought, because that's a gift to us. We see on paper what you pay, right? So you got to pay that, Mr. Hoskins. You need to pay that. Like every month, you got an obligation. You need to pay that. So now, at this time, I'm on child support with two. Now, every time I get into it with these two, they scream the child support stuff. I say, yeah, but whatever. I'm already on it, and I'm gonna pay what I'm gonna pay. My kids need stuff right now, and I'm gonna do it like that. And it's just what it's gonna be. So, what happened was that was done because I didn't know I was selling drugs. I wasn't even thinking about working and getting no job. I was so delusional, so entrenched in this street life, so gone off of being the best drug dealer I could be, wearing the nicest clothes, having the biggest bankroll, getting the most girls, you know what I'm saying? Getting into the cars, the nice jewelry, the leather coats, like, you know what I'm saying? I was so entrenched to that and being totally anti against my baby mamas that I would do it backwards. I would be backwards. Like, okay, I put myself on child support twice, right? Just not to pay the child support, just for it to stack up, just for me to get mad and say, man, they always trying to use that child support on me. How stupid do that sound? That's ridiculous. I wonder what kind of mindset that I had in, and still the only thing I was thinking about was being the best drug dealer and buying my and my kids got to be fresh. They gotta have the J's. He gotta have a haircut. Her hair gotta be done. But if the pack get messed up, then they just gonna have to wait until they turn, and they gonna have to wait till daddy get back right. See, because it ain't like a steady job. It ain't like a 9 to 5 or a career where you have a steady paycheck coming in, and you know the only thing that's gonna stop you is you miss a day or you get fired. But if you do what you're supposed to do at work, you got a guaranteed check, right? But when you in the game, people fleece you. Fleece means sell your fake stuff. You get robbed. The police after you. And so it was times that, like I said, I had my own place. It was time that, like I said, I was at least the weekend daddy, but I couldn't get my kids because I might have I might have beef. I might have drama. Somebody might have tipped me up that the police said they're gonna run in your spot. Like, my kids can't be here where that happened. So just neglecting them and the whole situation, doing everything out of whack. It was crazy how my mentality was back then. And just just thinking like, dag, I really blame them for that. Now, I was ignorant to a lot of things, but for real, I was an a-hole. I wasn't thinking about them. Like, first of all, when I was with my high school sweetheart, when I went to jail, we ain't married. Ain't nobody tell me to go to jail. So I can't get mad when I go to jail and she choose to mess with somebody else. Because I chose to go to jail, because I chose to be a criminal and make bad decisions and leave my baby and my baby mama home by themselves, where they feel unprotected, where they feel alone, where she feels alone. So she has the option. She don't really owe me no loyalty. We just got a baby. And so that was on me. So when I went to jail, and I took, and I, that part I said, yeah, you know what? That's my fault. And do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Instead of carrying myself through all the mental things, she was acting like that when I was out. Well, if I'd have stayed out, I would have found out. But instead, I was entrenched, and I was engulfed in me and thinking about how I could come up. I used to always think, man, it's just left me. It still hard me sometimes. Money will solve everything. Money will solve everything. But if I was smart back then, I would have took the money I was getting when we paid that child support. So we get later and deeper in. Now I'm getting letters from the courts. I'm getting letters from the courts talking about contempt because I ain't paid this and paid this. I get locked up for it one time, and I had a $5 purge bond, and I bonded out because I had the money. You know, I was hustling, and I bonded out. And I'm listening to the old schools in there and say, "Oh man, you ain't got to pay your whole thing. You just pay like $5-10 a month, and you know what I'm saying, they ain't gonna bother you because they're gonna see you made a payment." But I ain't thinking about the rest of the cheese that I owe for that order that's gonna go on that order that's stacking up in the background. So we talking about, I'm catching child support cases, dope cases. Every type of case that you can catch as a criminal, like I was kind of catching them. You know what I'm saying? I was putting myself in harm's way, and I had kids, and I wasn't thinking properly. So, yeah, Alan. Yeah, when you're doing sin, it do make you delusional. So you know, man, it's just deep. So how I get to the other 5 baby mamas, it's just a trickle down effect. I ain't in I was in a relationship with like 3 or 4 of my baby mamas, and then the rest of them, I was just out acting a fool. Now, I ruined every relationship that I was in because, like I said, I ain't know how to treat no women. I never even tried to learn how or nothing. I was always underhanded. It was all about me getting my way. I was selfish, like, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and when things went wrong, it was always their fault. See, I bet y'all thought when I said I hate my baby mama, I was going to be pointing a finger at them, but not I today. Today, I'm telling you that sometimes we got to take accountability as men to say, hey, where did I go wrong? How do we get here? How do I get to X amount of dollars in child support arrearage? How do I get to 8 baby mamas out of wedlock? How do we get here? And you know, I'm just saying, like, also, also, the story is the same. The fourth. I was being me. Like I said, I was a little charismatic. I knew how to talk to women a little bit. I knew the right things to say. I was cunning. I was using sorcery, witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? That's just being a liar. You know what I'm saying? I was slick, but I never had a real intention of really, even the ones I was in relationships with, man, I was still trying to get over in some kind of way, have my way, because they're saying each have your cake and eat it too. That's dumb. Like, if you got a cake, you're supposed to eat it. And the cake is the person you with. You're supposed to have your cake and eat it, right? But I froze. But you're not supposed to, if you have a cake, why are you going over there trying to get that pie too? That's what they should say. Yeah. If you got a cake, why are you over there trying to get pies and cupcakes? You know what I'm saying? And yams. You know what I'm saying? The yammadry. Why are you trying to do that? Like, if you got a cake, be sitting with your cake. But see, not knowing what you should do, how you should move, you move in the wrong direction. And so, you know, I stirred my baby mamas up in a lot of ways, and I led them on. I led them all on, not just even the ones that, because even the ones that I like to say we wasn't never in no relationship, we was just hooking up, man, they all felt some type of way about me. And I'm being honest, I ain't being arrogant, and I ain't being boastful and prideful. I'm just telling the truth. I know they all felt some type of way about me. They all had feelings for me, even if I did just mess with them a few times and had a baby with them. Like, that's just what it was. You know what I'm saying? Right. We are consumed with our own desires. And I was definitely definitely consumed. And you know, I really, hey, now just being honest and open and thinking about it, like, I got to these baby mamas and had all this, and it was always, okay, this ain't go right, this ain't work out. On to the next one. On to the next one. And how do you feel away when that's how you move? And I always had this thing where I felt some type of way. She ain't even got to do me dirty like that. Or, man, she told me she wasn't going. Like, I had one baby mama who I could
get a bottle of water out this white refrigerator.
I had one baby mama where I asked her, was she the one calling down the child support for me? Because I felt like she was calling child support to enforce them on me, right? To get them to, she was trying to get it raised and everything. And I and and I was like, is you calling on me? And she was like, nah. She blatantly lied to my face. And I found out, and I went off on her. And I just, over the years, as years passed, I just figured out, like, I figured out, like, why she hate me so much, because she didn't even know me. And that's a problem. You make children with people that you don't know. I had babies with people who were complete strangers about 4 times. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know how a person feels. I felt like, because I didn't know her that well, that we didn't have that type of connection. But I'm just don't want my child in the world not knowing that he got a daddy, right? But she felt some type of way about me. And whatever smooth words that I use to get in her panties, you know what I'm saying? I let her on. So Now, in latter days, when you don't know that person, you don't know their spirit, you don't know their spiritual background, you don't know how they was raised. Now you got to deal with their residue. Now you got to deal with whatever they got going on because you done decided to make a child with that person. You know what I'm saying? What up, Pastor Clarence? Yeah. And you done decided to make a child with this person, and you didn't do it the right way. You weren't married. You was out here being a whoremonger, thotting. You know what I'm saying? And you made a baby with somebody you don't even know, and then you wonder why you going through what you're going through.
Man, that was one of my worst. That was one of my worst nightmares, to have a baby by somebody you don't know.
Man, the whole time I'm screaming that this baby mama, they don't know me like this. I don't know them like that. So how do I expect them to act? How do I expect you to act if I really don't know you? I'm screaming the whole time like, she can't say this. She don't know me like that. She can't say that because I don't know her like that. She can say whatever she want today. She can be whatever character she want to be for this day because guess what? I didn't take the time to get to know her. I just got the time to know her body. And when they said they was pregnant, and I'm so crazy. Back in them days, at first, they telling me they're pregnant. I denied every baby. We gotta have a test. We gotta figure this out. We gotta do something. It was just in my mind. Man, that music, bro, it had my mind. I ain't trust. You can't trust them. You can't trust them. They always out to get you. They gonna play you. You gonna be a sucker. You gonna be a lame. Don't let them get over on you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And man, I'm telling you, man, that residue, man, I'm telling you, it's bad, man. That's why I had to go to therapy, man. They diagnosed me with all kind of paranoid PTSDs and from trauma, and all of this is just even from the things that we self-induce, the things that we listen to, the things what you feed yourself, all of these things. You know, I still have a problem with people as a whole. I have to I know I'm the righteousness of God, but I don't think everybody is that way. And I look at people and I look down on people, even with my quadrillion baby mamas and my criminal record. I look at people like they dust sometimes, and I ain't got no business doing that. And I have to check myself and rebuke myself for that. And today is just a situation where is a situation where I'm going to take responsibility for what I've done to my children and my baby mamas, and even some of the things I take my wife through these days because of the residue that I brought along with me because of my actions. I really was a womanizer. I really was a user. Like, in each capacity, every woman got used, whether it was for their body, maybe a couple dollars here and there, maybe some money for a pack here and there. You know what I'm saying? A spot, a place to lay. You know what I'm saying? It was always something. I really had a problem with, you know, they say women are gold. I was a gold digger. Like, why am I mess with you and you ain't benefiting me nothing? Or if you cute and pretty, that's what I'm using you for that. I'm using you for that, knowing that I'm the type of person. I realize I'm the type of, I used to have a certain set, like you gotta be light skin, long hair, and you can't be bald head. And I used to have a male, but in my mind, what I wanted out of a girl. And then sometimes I learned that it's the relationship with the person. I'm really a relationship type of person that I don't want you to be but ugly, but in a lot of cases, I could overlook your personality. I mean, I could overlook your looks based off what you can do for me or what type of person you are towards me. And that earned me a lot of kids. That earned me a lot of kids. Because the things that I was looking for wasn't quite what you were supposed to. Wasn't the things you were supposed to be looking for. And so we got this thing where any situation that you need to touch on regarding a baby mama, regarding a situation with a baby mama, having dudes around your kids and or your baby, I could touch on all that. I could touch on all that. So this is an open panel, man. Anybody watching want to chime in, want to tap in, want to get in on this conversation, man? Just look at the link is in the description. If you for some reason can't find the link in the description, just hit me up. I will inbox you. This is an open panel discussion, man.
If you go to YouTube, it's pinned to the top of the chat, so it's gonna be the first comment in the chat.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, Rico, you got some questions for me, man? Anything you want to ask? Anything to pique your interest, even though you probably already know the answers to everything?
Man, I don't know. I think I always, you know what I'm saying, about situations like that I don't know, try to think about that stuff and apply it to myself. And you just don't know. And you know, you might have an idea or you might think you got an idea how you would approach a situation but man, I couldn't imagine how I would react or respond. You just don't know, because just going off of what you said and thinking about, I don't know, even my daddy and daddies like them that just got kids and baby mamas and kids. You can from outside look at that and be like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't do that. But a person that is doing that, they ain't thinking about it. They're illogical.
I was going full speed. I don't want to think about nothing but myself. Real talk. And like I said, I guess in all the situations, for whatever reason I was an opportunist. Mm-hmm. But I made people casualties, my kids and baby mamas included, along this ride of this full force, this full speed, this selfishness type thing.
So how do you think being in it, because I could say like, oh man, you know, your high school sweetheart, junior high sweetheart, it's probably your favorite baby. I mean, I ain't saying now, but I'm saying 15 years ago, in the thick of it, you have rankings based on how you felt about a person. But I know you ain't a foul person like that. But you also can't help how we are wired. We're wired to have elevated feelings, emotions, and things for certain people.
Well, let me cut in. I'm gonna give you. I know what you're talking about, so I'm gonna give you the dynamics. I'm gonna give y'all an example of what he's talking about. So I got 7 baby mamas, right? The ones with my last name, I was in a relationship with them. Mm-hmm. The ones I was not in a relationship with don't have my last name. Mm-hmm. The ones that I was in a relationship with, me and the child, the children might have a, most likely, I'm almost 96% sure that I have a stronger bond with those children that I was in a relationship with their mothers, like actually lived with them, mm-hmm. was together with them. They was my girl, mm-hmm. and we was rocking, mm-hmm. on a consistent basis, opposed to the ones I might have just hooked up with here and there, and I got them pregnant, mm-hmm. and it's just a totally different dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And I was a different father to those set of children. Mm. That's just being honest. But I tried, because I seen that in myself.
Yeah, that was my question. Like, how did you mentally navigate that? Like, man, like all these my kids, but I know I feel a way about this set, and I should feel that way about the whole set. So do you make yourself? Because I know, like, at this point in time, you love all your kids
the same equally.
And
some of them, we have a relationship. So
one that might have been your favorite 10 years ago is probably your arch enemy today.
Man, listen.
And another one is your favorite. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So I'm just saying how feelings and emotions and relationships change due to circumstances.
See, the beautiful thing about now is that I have more control over the situation. I'm a different person, and I have relationships with my children, regardless of the state of the relationship. I'm not the daddy that just know they got kids and you never go see them. I ain't the weekend daddy no more, even though I have to be the weekend daddy sometimes. But me and my kids talk, and I know their feelings, and I know how they act, and I know who they are, and I know what their makeup is, right? Mm-hmm. Opposed to then, like being when I was younger, I was adjusting, and we talked about it back 10, 15 years ago when I was 18. I'm like, man, I just don't like him because I don't like his mama. Like, I don't even know her and she tripping like that. Or
so let's back up and let's talk about actually where the title, the idea, and maybe a little bit of the emotion and why the whole I hate my baby mama thing come from.
Well, I think I had
because it came from you realizing, because it wasn't like you've been running around for years like I hate her or I hate them. It was a realization like, dang,
like I just really before I had that's the Holy Spirit. Before I had that revelation today, that it was really all my fault. Mm-hmm. I blamed this person for their actions when I didn't know them. Mm-hmm. Like, because you
expected something from them that you didn't even know you shouldn't have.
I should have never expected, because I didn't know them to the extent. But once I got to know that this person was foul, what else should I expect? Once you know something, you should be able to adjust to it and not let it bother you. But I let this certain person rev me up to the point where I said, I hate this person, and my child act just like them, and and I struggle with that. Mm-hmm. I struggle with that because a large part of my child's identity is this person. Mm-hmm. And if I would have knew better, I probably would have did better, but I didn't do better because I didn't know better. And I wasn't never ever moving in the space of love with this person, not even from day 2. I ain't gonna say day 1, because day 1 I had to move in some type of love to get what I wanted and needed, and this is how we got a baby. You know what I'm saying? But day 2, it was okay. I done did and when I say day 2, I'm talking about as the relationship didn't progress, right. as I was like, okay, that was a hit and run. They helped me with this where I needed that, but I gotta go because this ain't even my style. And it wasn't even because I knew that this person was this way. It was just because I didn't like other things about the person, and I was like, I gotta remove myself from this situation. This can't get serious in no type of way. Not knowing that this person was just way worse than just this. Mm-hmm. I mean, just because I'm I often ask myself, had I knew how this person would turn out, would I never went back and tried to pursue paternity? And just me being me, I'm just not a foul person like that. But the so-called hatred inside of me was like, oh, but I probably would have, because man, if I'd have knew that this was gonna be like that.
Hey, we record. Y'all gonna have to quit coming up and down them steps. Stay outside or stay inside.
So gotta be more careful, and that's really a truthful statement. And so I the question I ask myself is, do I think it's beneficial for children to have 2-parent households? And I really do. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Man, you know what's so crazy about that is, people say I ain't mean to cut you off. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Not to be rude.
Not good. You're good.
But I had a man. This is so crazy, and it just the whole word two-parent household. What? No. No. So anyway, that was my niece Zoe. But anyway, so it was crazy, man. I had back when we was, I don't know, this is a minute ago, and we had started the Bear Cub thing, and me and Bino, we was putting together this foundation, and we wanted to help kids. And I was, I was getting together some film, and I was doing some video, and I just brought people in and talk about, how important it is for a child to be structured the right way, for two-parent households, and basically the nuclear structure of the family and all. And I interviewed one person, female, and she was like, well, I don't necessarily think you need a two-parent household to. I'm like, what? And this was a, this is a smart person. This is a person that, should know better. What up, Alan?
What's going on, fellas?
This is a person that, and it shocked me. This is a college educated, high five, almost six figure. I don't know, what I'm saying. And they was just like, well, I mean, look at me. I turned out all right. I'm like, well, first off, if that's true that you've turned out all right, you're doing pretty good for yourself. But that's not the norm. Like, Alan can speak to this. He worked with kids a lot, and we all can speak to it. Most of the kids in jail and the men in jail come from single parent households.
Yep.
So that I just wanted to, what I'm saying, that always kind of it didn't change how I felt about the person, but it gave me another perception of how they see the world, and then future conversations about certain things. I was like, I can understand why they think that or they feel that way, because I can see where they, where they head at. Go ahead.
Shoot me that link real quick so I can shoot it to Ronald Ragland.
Ronald Ragland, what? I sent it to you already.
I didn't get it. What you did you put it in the messages, text messages?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I know you don't do nothing in Messenger. You know what I'm saying? I should have knew. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Alan, what you got to say, brother? Because I'm trying to get this link out. I see you done jumped on in, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got this earpiece in, so I don't want to hear the outside noise.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hold on. Reed wasn't perfect. Dude got like the super narrator voice. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I feel what you're saying. Just like I was saying earlier. Sometimes our situations, we kind of like we create those situations. Matter of fact, I was reading James, the first chapter, dealing with temptation and double-mindedness and reflecting on the image of, Christ. When we out there in the world, Jesus is the last person on our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And look, hold on, Alan, my bad, because when you something just clicked and I don't even know. And when you don't have a measuring stick, like I didn't have anything to measure a man off of, Like I ain't know no man. Like I ain't know no. Like I said, I had a uncle. I had two uncles and aunts. They married.
I ain't seen Ronald Raglan since the 6th grade, bro.
He still look like DJ Quick, baby.
Wow.
I didn't have a measuring stick of somebody who treated women good. Like I ain't, I was a kid then, so I really wasn't in my aunts and uncle's business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like looking for the good. I wasn't tuned into that. Like, so it's got to be something consistent every day that you see in order for you to have I believe for you to have a measuring stick on what, how you should treat a woman and how this whole thing works, marriage or relationships or the guidelines. And like I said, my measuring stick was Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, like you were saying, most of us young boys, young men that grow up in a single parent home don't have a role model, someone that we can look up to. Most of my uncles, they weren't around. The only measuring stick that I had was my two grandfathers. And both of them were married. Both of them were with the woman, the only woman that they'd ever been with. And I always desired to be like that, but childhood traumas, that I went through. I I made a vow with myself that I wasn't going, because my mom was a victim of that. My brother's father, that they had to put him on child support, and I know how she struggled. Um, my dad wasn't around, so I vowed within myself. I said I would never put myself in that situation.
Yeah.
And I would never put a woman in that situation. Mind you, never knowing that you was going to meet somebody in the future that would try to attempt to put you in that situation. But because of my commitment to God and the commitment to my girls, I fought for my girls.
Yeah.
And I put myself in a situation where the courts would look at me and see that I was suitable. I was a suitable father.
Yeah.
I didn't have no priors, I'm saying that in a bad way. Didn't have no priors, stable job, and had my own place, and I showed the court that I was more stable than my ex, and I wound up with my girls, and I'm with a good woman right now, man. She the best thing that happened with me and my girls, man. But like I said, I purposely try to put myself in a situation,
Yeah.
not downcasting you, Jamal, because your circumstances were different. It could have been the same, but you grew up in a different environment, made other choices. But sometimes down the road, you gotta let us realize how crazy we were.
Now,
You know,
and this once again, Alan. Listen, you said something. I just touched on this, but I want to go back to that place. You said something that is strong and break generational curses for me now. That measuring stick that you had, that you said, yeah, you had something to look at to say, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm going to be with one woman. So once again, I believe that example and that measuring stick, led you to be able to operate in the way you did, and the rest of the tutelage and tools that you got to be able to operate, to put yourself in a position where you could have in the situation with the children, have the leverage and things that just comes along with probably, once again, the tips and the measuring sticks that you were watching along the way. You know what I'm saying? Having wise counsel, maybe, or somebody with a little bit of knowledge. Like, now, I'm not making excuses, because they have programs for me where they had this program called the Black Male Coalition. If you live in my neighborhood, you know what I'm talking about. Uh, they had programs like the Black Male Coalition, where they gave you mentors and all the stuff that the dads were missing. They were taking you to basketball games, soccer games, football games. You know what I'm saying? Putting you on a baseball team, whatever neighborhoods you lived in, they were hooking you up with that neighborhood recreation center, making sure you got a center card. You know what I'm saying? Just taking up a lot of slack for the dads that wasn't there for their kids. You know what I'm saying?
I really ain't heard much after that since after we was little.
They stopped them about. The last thing I remember, the Black Male Coalition was kind of falling off at about. They were kind of falling off at about 97, 98. It started. I think their foundation was kind of getting weakened then, but back then, that wasn't good enough for us. They felt like that was good for us. I don't really.
Where Ronald at, man?
He ended up getting on the phone or something. He ain't seen the link yet. I just tried to.
Hey, Jamal, can I interject for a minute? I'm just thinking. Now I did want. I did have an uncle, but he was my auntie's husband. And when you said what you said, it's quicker. It brought back to our remembrance. We didn't have a coalition, but my uncle had a softball team, and all of those men on that softball team took all the boys in the community, all the children in the community. Whenever they had like function, baseball games, they made sure we were there. And man, I mean, these was the best times in my life, because we was able to see real men, and all of these men were fathers and they were married, and they just took the time to take their community back. But tragically, my uncle, and it tears me up. It tears me up right now that he fell on hard times. Good father, man. Good father. Started smoking, smoking weed, and one of my relatives introduced him to hard drugs, and it went from the hard drugs to infidelity, and he overdosed.
Wow.
And he died. Now, mind you, this is the man. He was the leader of that whole band of brothers, that had that that softball team. And when he died, everybody disbanded, and all the kids went disbanded, and everybody, and you could have saw the effects of it. Everybody started running amok. The women tried to keep it going, but they lost their leader, man. And this to show you how effective of a positive role model, be it being an uncle, cousin, whoever, if he's committed, you can see the effects of one person can have on a person, because he was there. for you. And like you said it on, it didn't last. You know, it got disbanded.
Mhm.
But 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 if you really look at back in history, that has always been a thing with back in the '70s, black men. You rarely, 70s and '60s, you rarely had single parent homes.
Yeah, right.
You really had single parent homes.
And oh my bad, go ahead. You hold on. You know what I think? Because you said something again. You keep saying stuff. You said something, and I heard it like right because I'm gonna tell you, it came to me about the Black Male Coalition. Why it wasn't strong as a force as it could have been. You said something about getting to know the men on the baseball team, and they took y'all to the baseball games, and they were all married, and y'all got to see them function. See, it was our neighborhoods. It was too many kids.
Yeah.
So you can't be personal with every single last kid.
Yeah.
Like we all don't get to see that. We just know it's a couple of nice men chaperoning us to games, and we didn't get. I don't remember ever get to. They might have gave us a speech. They used to give us speeches and motivational talks, and they might have briefed us about how they have a wife and kids, and and this, that, and the other, and they might have done that, right? But we didn't, like you said, y'all got to see that they had, and I think that's a reason why. I think that's the reason why. I think that's the reason why it probably eventually, because it just was out. When I was going, there was too many kids. It was too many kids to be chaperoning. Like, ain't nobody have a daddy. The whole neighborhood ain't have a daddy, except for probably I knew a couple of dudes that had daddies, and this is crazy. One of the dudes that had a daddy that was in the Black Male Coalition, his daddy was my counselor. He was my therapist when I was a young boy. Because I had a therapist when I was little. I had some tragedies happen, some traumas, and he was off the chain. He got killed later on in life, but his daddy was the best counselor in the world to me, and he lived with his daddy. But for some reason, his daddy was connected with them guys in the Black Male Coalition. I don't know if his daddy worked too much. I don't know the circumstances behind that whole situation, but I know that his father being my counselor helped me through a lot of things. I learned how to write raps from his daddy being my counselor. I know how to learn how to write down my thoughts. I learned how to write stuff, my feelings on paper, and a lot of learning, a lot of learning, thinking errors and learning tactics and coping tactics I learned from this guy's father. And when I got older, I used to always think like, man, how he get killed, how he get caught up in that life like that. And his daddy was dope. Like to me, like his daddy had all the answers for me, right? But his daddy, he wasn't a part of the Black Male Coalition. He was a part of it, but his son, and I used to think that too, like, you got a daddy. Like, why is you in the Black Male Coalition? Like, I know all of these dudes, they ain't got no daddy. No.
Well, let me ask you this, because when we lived in this same neighborhood 30 years ago, ain't no like St. Ledges, that was as much as was it that was as much as a project as there was gonna be out here.
Right.
These all houses out here.
Ain't nobody had no daddy. Go ahead though.
In St. Ledges.
Nowhere.
What? No, because people in the neighborhood, people, not many of us, but
I know a few. Like even like
I had a daddy. I had two daddies. I had a stepdaddy and a daddy.
All right, but you weren't in the Black Male Coalition.
I wasn't, but I mean,
Greg wasn't in the Black Male Coalition.
He had a daddy. Curtis Hill. He wasn't in Black Male Coalition. He had a daddy. He lived with his daddy.
Right.
Stephen Baker. It was some, but I'm asking you this for a reason. And that's why I'm pointing out the houses which were usually more working class, versus the apartments or the projects, which was more welfare. Because it was totally like when we moved out of Evanston and we moved into the projects, when my stepdad got on drugs and he left, and then I didn't have a daddy in the house. You know what I'm saying? I was just like everybody else. And nope, like you might have one or two houses, and we talking about Wayne Terrace is one of the biggest projects, period.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about 0.5% of us got daddies in the house. So
That's a low number, buddy.
right.
0.5.
Less than 1%. So I'm just asking, like, you was around, you was in Black Male Coalition. None of those boys had daddies.
None of them. And
Wow.
then, like, you know what?
I guess that's what it was for, but
That's
I didn't know. I didn't.
Good male influence, or you know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. Yeah, when you broke it down, most of the people you named that had daddies wasn't in the Black Male Coalition.
Yeah, I only heard about it when y'all talked about it at school, and I never.
Because it was for people like me. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead,
Alan.
You know, it's crazy that y'all saying this. You know, because you know, Apostle Jenkins always alludes to this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, about fathers being in the home, how they can transform a home, transfer the community, from transferring the community, transform the city, and change the world.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all was saying all of that, I know you were saying, oh, none of them had no daddy. None of them had no daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know that that's a prophecy?
Mm-hmm.
Malachi 4:6. Let me say it. Let me read it. But when Christ came
Mm-hmm.
as Elijah,
Mm-hmm.
for John the Baptist, as Elijah, he said, he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
Mm-hmm.
What is the curse? That's the broken family.
Mm-hmm.
One key word. One key word. What do you call a child that doesn't have a dad?
Fatherless.
Orphan.
What the
Orphan.
infidel. Infidel. And so you're wondering why a lot of the kids.
I was about to say bastard, but you know, for the best.
Yeah, same thing. Infidel. But now, mind you, Israel had a situation where, like say for instance, if a man he had kids, or he didn't have kids, the brother would take that wife and
Mm-hmm.
marry that wife.
Mm-hmm.
But in other cases, if his kids died,
Mm-hmm.
the men of that child, I mean the uncle or someone of that child would take that child and raise that child as his own. See, they had that encoded in their community, so no child would be left out or singled out as an infidel. You know, so when Jamal kept saying that, I said, okay, keep saying that. So I'm just gonna interject and put that prophecy out there. So it should motivate us more as fathers, as men.
Yeah.
Man, say, hey man, I'm gonna be a part of my children's life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight to be a part of their life because I don't want to curse my seed.
Man, you know what? I remember coming up, and we start writing music and recording 14, 15, something like that. And I didn't have the relationship or support from my natural father like I should have or even wanted to, but I had him. I could call him anytime. I could see him anytime. I did see him. He had his faults, but he was available, right? And then my stepfather, outside of him struggling with addiction, this guy was one of my favorite people. You know what I'm saying? So, he was there. He was there when he was, he was gone a lot, like especially,
John, chill out.
But my point is, I kind of complained. Like I had a time where I was like, I ain't got no daddy, or I didn't have a daddy, or I ain't have the daddy I wanted. But man, I had more than most people.
Right.
Like I had my natural father. I always had access to him. I could always call him. He didn't always spend on me like my brothers and sisters, but I knew he loved me. I knew where he was. I never had no doubt that I had a father. I knew him my whole life. He always been around. He always been there. Like I said, our relationship wasn't like it should have been, but that's way more than I could say for most people. And I always saw him working. I always saw him clean. I never saw him drunk. I never saw him high. I never saw him
this guy
abusive. Hey,
John.
Didn't I tell you sit down on that couch, boy? I don't care what you talking about. I'll beat you and your daddy up.
No, you won't. No, I won't. Don't believe that. Don't fall for the hype.
You better believe you sit down on my couch, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
But then
don't Charlie Murphy.
Don't get your daddy beat up, boy.
Charlie.
Nah, and then my stepdaddy, when he was broken and he had his ways, but man, we talking about this man treated me like, man, I knew my dad, Alan. Look, I knew my daddy my whole life, but this dude made me feel like he was my daddy too. Like I had two fathers. And if I took both of them and made one, I had a whole daddy. Most people didn't have that.
No.
And I see the difference in me and my brothers and sisters versus and what's crazy, this is even more crazy. I see the difference in me because I had more of my brothers and sisters' daddy than they did because they was little when he left.
Right.
I had more of him than them. So even I'm wired different in that way because I had a daddy. And then I still had my natural daddy who I always could run to. So, yeah, I just wanted to.
Hey, man, I just want to say for the record, I love that boy. I mean, I really love that kid. He's just very, very.
He throwing my pillows on the floor.
He fighting your pillows. He getting ready for you because you talking stuff. You know what I'm saying? Treat Uncle Rico pillows right, boy.
Why you talking in the mic?
I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no daddy to teach me.
Oh, grief.
Hopeless. But nah, so
let me ask you these questions since
right. That's what I was getting to.
Is having multiple baby mamas trophy or trouble? Is spreading your seed the norm? And you know what? It's good that you had that because I was gonna ask you, but I didn't want to break into your monologue. But I was gonna ask you, okay, while you was downtown, while you was in the streets, while you was doing what you was doing, and you was making all these babies, what was the general consensus of dudes in the street? Like, was dudes like trying not to have a whole bunch of baby mamas, or was they trying to have all their kids in one spot? Or was I'm saying,
man, it was no direction at all. It was just whatever.
Yeah.
Like literally, at least the people I knew in our real in the blocks, I mean, it was normal for a dude that had 2-3 baby mamas, 4-5 baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody had no. And then you got the dudes that had their baby mama, and younger than me, and I didn't even know. Like, that's my second baby mama, my third baby mama. I ain't wearing no more. That's just my baby mama. I'm with such and such up the street now. Like blah blah blah. So I didn't. But that wasn't my thing. Was it was always an accident with me. I gotta. Well, I ain't gonna turn down the child though. If it's my child, I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be halfway a daddy, a quarter of a daddy. They're gonna know me at least. You know what I'm saying? But
so trophy trouble, trophy of trouble.
Let me tell you something. All these shows coming out, they promoting all these guys with multiple kids and multiple babies. Ain't nothing wrong with having multiple kids. I would like to have all my kids under the same umbrella. That would be a blessing, but it's not like that. But I think it's a problem to me. For a long time, I fight the shame even now that I have that many baby mamas and ain't none of my kids by the same mama, except for two. Like and these the last ones. And I feel ridiculous. I feel ridiculous all the time. So when I people doing shows like that, I say, why are we celebrating this? Why is this big up? Why is this being put on a pedestal? Because y'all see, even when I talk about it, I'm hesitant. Even today, even unleashing, like a lot of my people on my friends list, they know me. They know I got buku baby mamas. A lot of people don't, but I find that to be shameful and honorary, even though that's the old man. I'm not gonna call my kids residue from the old man, but they come from the old man's logic, the old way of thinking, and the new man is I don't like it. I think it's trouble. I know it's trouble. Just because of the things I've done, I didn't lay a proper foundation with none of those women. So of course we have problems. It's my wife loves me, but it's a hindrance in my marriage sometimes because of sometimes I have difficulties with these women or relationships with these women because they're my baby mamas, and that, sometimes it knocked me and my wife off balance. I'm just being honest, just because of that part of the residue. You know what I'm saying? If I'm stressed out about a situation or looking at a situation too hard, and my wife on my side, but that affects her, and that makes she can't help but be on my side, even though I might be wrong and I might have put myself in that position to be like that. And she can't help but just be on my side because she's my wife. You feel me? Or, I go hard on certain situations, and then we automatically got to compare maybe her past situations to my past situations. And I'll be like, nah, that's totally different because I don't have the way you bring up a relationship with this person ain't how me and this person relationship is. It's totally different. And so if I say something is not like this, but she can only see it like, nah, it's like this because it ain't the same. It ain't the same. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not beefing. I might not like some of their ways and some of the things they do and some of the way that they operate, right? But I'm not beefing with none of my baby mamas. I might not like them personally, their character, their personality, and things that they do. But right now, here today, I'm not beefing with my baby mamas. Even the one that I have disdain for, I'm not beefing with her. My child is grown, and I don't have to deal with her. So I'm not beefing, or I don't have a complaint to say to the grave I hate this person. On the other hand, just hypothetically, my wife might have a situation with her baby daddy. She got baby daddies. She might have a problem with her baby daddies or something like that, and they might have truly done something to offend her. That's not my story. So I don't got that. So even though I might speak on a situation, and I'm good at speaking on situations and being passionate about it, and it'll make you think, you'll be with me if you love me. But at the same time, when I go back in hindsight, it's like, you know what though?
Hey, Alan, what you think of my sweatshirt?
I put
Two,
bro,
two, two and two, baby.
don't put don't
bro,
put
I ain't, bro.
hold on. Alan, first off,
Hey,
don't let him interrupt my show with that malarkey. Don't let him- you just relax. We know it's the
I'll
big,
focus it.
we
I'll
know,
focus it.
baby, but
Yeah,
relax.
yeah.
so, but man, it's crazy that they're profiting off of broken households. They're profiting. They're making it to. They're sensationalizing having multiple kids with multiple women
And you
out
know,
of
and
guys. I don't think it's cool.
what's even worse is that you'll have a Nick Cannon talk about the community and talk about social issues and whatnot. And
Sit down, Jonathan. Oh, my bad. You had Nick Cannon talk about.
he ain't just leave him alone. He ain't gonna listen. But you have Nick Cannon promoting having all his kids, and people say, "Well, he could take care of them though." And then you have young Dolph cousin or whatever. He got 20 baby mamas, and they all on a reality show and
Yeah.
promoting that. But you can't mentally, spiritually, emotionally be there for all those kids.
You can't. I just look. You know, it just blew my mind. They say Lil Wayne birthday party, and he partied with all his kids. I thought Wayne had maybe 7, 8 kids. It was about 20 kids in the picture, bro. At least 15. Grown. They
For real? I thought he only had like 6. I quit counting a
man,
long time ago.
you got so many kids. Some
For
of them,
real?
I
didn't
think
know
Ray
that.
Janae's the oldest, but some of them grown. Like I'm like, what? I'm like, so that's his kid. That's his kid. That's his kid. Wow.
That's so sickening because you think
Hey,
because you have the resources. These are fatherless homes.
You don't have time, especially if you got a career. You don't got time. You don't even got time to spend.
Men like that ain't got time for one home, let alone 15.
Why is you making all them kids?
hey, fellas, can I interject?
Yeah.
Now look, I mean, I know exactly what y'all talking about, man. I mean, and it's crazy. It was crazy in my neighborhood too. But yeah, think about this, man. Think about this. We are we are the generation, the offspring of the Mandingos. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You know what a Mandingo is,
African warrior.
right? Yeah, but you know what they did with the Mandingos,
What
It's
they
right? You
do?
know,
That's an African buck that
yes,
they trying to.
yes, they were the breeders. They were the breeders. So that spirit, like I said, we were saying earlier about the generational curse. That spirit has encapsulated our young men when they don't have basically have uh, a starting point to point back at, because when you're looking at a lot of it, if you're looking at like the songs from the '70s, songs
Hold on.
from the '70s was a lot of baby making music, you know, that culture was like pushed in our communities, and also
Birthday celebration picture.
and and also they also made they made a they made a living. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these record companies made billions off of our, our dysfunction. And even still to this day, they're still making money off of our dysfunction. But goes back to what we're saying. We, you know, we got to come to, women and men, got to come to a point to say, hey, enough is enough. We're no longer going, we're no longer going to keep on going through this vicious cycle of fatherlessness and single motherhood. And just decide, hey, we got to get this thing right. Otherwise, our nation is going to be destroyed. Our people is going to be destroyed because the father's not in their place. In their
The lack of the lack of male leadership, because just like in my case, like I said, I don't have an excuse. My therapist like to use. I took this from. I don't have an excuse, but I do have reasons why a lot of the turns on the turnpike was the way they were for me. Because for one, I gave variables already, but and to finish out that question, because I know you got some more. Um, yeah, I think it's ridiculous to. I think it's has to do with the lack of I think it's trauma from growing up in a maybe fatherless household yourself, the influences of where or who you were around and how you were raised and who did the raising. And I think it's trouble because I lived through it. I know it's trouble. No, it's too many personalities. It's too many. It's money. If you're not, if you didn't come into an inheritance, it's a lot of money to take care of a child. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so I think spreading the new seed shouldn't be the new normal.
Spreading your seed, the new normal. Nah, it's not the new normal. It's the old normal.
Right.
Actually. Like
absolutely. Going back to Africa, man. Polygamy was the number one thing. Men had many wives, but the women can have many husbands. So on two perspectives, we have been affected by single parent. Jamal, you okay?
Yeah, hold on. I'm listening. I'm listening to you at the same time. I'm watching the little guy. Go ahead, though.
Okay. Single parent, curse, stereotype, and also with men who, fathers who made it a culture, but he must have more than one woman, more than one wife.
Right.
Yeah, but going back to Africa, most of the men that did that were chiefs and kings, people with a lot of money. But then it trickled down to the common man. Common man wasn't supposed to be practicing polygamy.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, hold on real quick, Alan. Hey, Rick, when you send him outside, you got to make sure that they keep an eye on him because he was running the street. My bad. Go ahead, Alan.
No, I'm just saying, it's a vicious cycle that's being repeated, man.
Definitely.
I mean, Paul made it plain, where he told, each leader in the church, a man must be a husband, a woman, a husband of one wife, because back in the day, the Lord wouldn't have put that in the scripture if that wasn't a problem with back then of fatherlessness back in those days.
Right.
So it's really nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? It's really nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, y'all like how I kick little Negroes out the house too. Old Negro, new Negro, any Negro can get
Yeah, yeah, man. So yeah, man, it's definitely. I think, yeah, I think my opinion, Nick Cannon is
it.
totally
Lost.
out of line.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love my kids. In regards to the relationship with their mothers, some of them are not the best, but I'm not beefing with none of my baby mamas. I'm not in love with any of my baby mamas, but I'm not, because I got a wife. But I'm not beefing with none of my baby mamas. I take full responsibility to how I got here at this point. To, but just loving God and God loving me is putting all things in proper perspective for me and my child's relationship, my children's relationship. And I'm doing things that I've never done. Like, I've never been stepdad. That my mom used to say that was crazy. Like, how you have one kid with all these baby, how you find a baby mama with no kids, or basically no kids, and how'd you do that? And you just won't mess with no women with no kids. And I used to be super biased, like, no, like that mean I gotta deal with their baby daddy and I gotta blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, so to answer that question, yeah, Rico, it's a no for me. It's all of it is a big negative. I don't like. I love my kids and I appreciate the fact that God has blessed me with the seeds that I have, and for according to this will and purpose, they will all be, in this functionality for me, and the purpose that He got me moving in will be for that.
So I got a question. There you go, Nia starting trouble. Talk to him nice, Nia. Right. That's right. So, question. 7 baby mamas. What do you think why do you think you didn't end up marrying any of them? Was it you think it's the timing? You think it was who you were, or
they were smarter than I thought?
Explain.
I proposed to everybody. No, I'm just playing. I didn't propose to everybody, but a few of my baby mamas, I threw the bluff hand on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
they told me, me and one of my baby mamas acted like we was married the whole time we were together. We were telling everybody that and everything. My mom, we was perping, but for the most part, they were already aware of my foolishness. They were smarter than to. They weren't about to play with me like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. You played enough with me to make a child with me.
Nia starting trouble.
Nah, you wasn't. You
look at him stuttering.
You wasn't messing with the new man. When I proposed, you knew who I was. You understood that. I ain't none of that. That's blase. You know what I'm saying?
So your baby mamas was smart to dodge Skefflo dollars.
Yeah, they dodged Skefflo. And
then Nia got,
and the ones that probably
Jamar blessed.
And the ones that probably would have married me, I wasn't even on that type of time with them. I didn't know them like that.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, my first baby mama, she wasn't never the marrying type. And she definitely will make it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I have some kids by you, but we ain't getting married. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My second baby mama, like I said, didn't know her like that. Third baby mama, yeah, we played like we was married, but yeah,
you burned that down to the ground.
I burned it down to the ground, and she knew much better.
Next one you burned down to the ground.
The fourth one I didn't know like that. You know what I'm saying? Who was the fourth? Oh yeah. Oh, well, she told me flat out, no, not never. You don't want that. You don't want them problems. I don't want them either.
But you could if you acted right. But anyway, we ain't gonna get into all that.
Fifth, like I said, just I didn't know her like that, and you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Six,
Didn't know her.
Yep. And seven, she was almost close, but you know, I was led in another direction, and then when I was going through my time of new age debauchery, I proposed to somebody, you know what I'm saying, that I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying?
That would have been a wreck.
Man, listen, I'm glad that even with the,
I mean, not because of her, but you wasn't ready to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I wasn't in the spiritual place, the right place.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the it's crazy because the things that man, that's crazy. Like the ones, literally the ones that I probably would have married would have been the ones I was in a relationship with, but they weren't thinking about me, and I was moving way too fast. Like,
yeah,
it definitely went in the cards. And the ones that I say that I barely knew, they probably would have took a chance, because even though I didn't know them, they didn't know me. They knew what I gave them in the beginning, and it was something for that to tap into that dopamine.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that guy. You know what I'm saying? For that moment. So I probably could have finagled my way into a marriage, you know what I'm saying, with them, but I ain't want nothing with them. Like, I ain't have a desire for no type of relationship outside of sex.
This next question is really interesting, and I'm trying to find a way to read it and ask it and kind of cater it to you, because I mean, I guess I could just ask it, but it's interesting. So, what up, though? So, if your baby mama has more children outside of yours, do you buy them? Do you do the same thing, or how do you navigate that? Now, the reason why I was trying to,
You said your baby mama, say that again?
Basically, if your baby mama got other kids and you come through and do something for your kid, how do you bring something for them? Are you entitled to that?
Oh, you talking about, do I bring the kids McDonald's?
Yeah.
Man, let's keep it real. You know, see, I've changed because I got stepkids now. And I think it's crazy she here. My wife has
What up, though?
taught me how to move better in that direction of non-selfishness. Like, so she'd always, when I say I'm about to do something, I'm so used to being in a relationship, saying I'm going to get my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And not having to deal with, maybe this person got kids. They're like, what about the other kids?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if I was in a relationship with somebody who had kids and then I had a baby with them, it just depends, man, because the old me would be...
That's hard to navigate.
No. I would tell the truth. The old me is a definitely no. And even if you knew the kids, you know. So this man's like, I ain't gotta do nothing for that kid. That ain't my baby, and blah blah blah. I do as I want to do. I do as I please. Like, I ain't. You can't put that on me. We ain't go half. I ain't go half on you with them kids. I went half on you with this kid. And this kid want McDonald's. This kid get McDonald's.
Mm.
the new me would, if, and maybe because of financial reasons, or if I even felt the way, I would just come get my child and take them to get something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't want to give the other children things, or if I couldn't, I wouldn't send the other child in the house with the McDonald's. Hello, Eddie Murphy. I started thinking about Eddie Murphy. McDonald's. I wouldn't do that.
I always that's interesting that's a question, because I always thought about stuff like that. Like I would hate to have to navigate that and make that decision. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even date, like, especially take serious. I never dated or took even serious women that had kids, because I never wanted to be one of the dudes that your kids saw coming out of your bedroom or walking through the house in the morning time. I never wanted to give a kid that memory of me or contribute to that. So I could just and I always used to like play these scenarios in my head, like, man, what would I do? Would I do for the kid? I mean,
you know what? Like I said, I don't
think you really wrong either way.
I'm being totally transparent now. It has to be two reasons why I would treat children like that right now at this moment. Mm-hmm. It's either because I financially cannot do it, or if I don't like your kids, then I ain't doing nothing for your kids.
Right.
But I ain't gonna squat on them though and just go buy my baby McDonald's and then send him in the house. Nah, he rolling with me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then if he go back and brag, my daddy about me, that's on. But y'all didn't see it. I didn't put it in your face. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm like, the old me definitely would have been like, man, I would have said it like, nah, I ain't buying your kid. I ain't help you make them. Like, what is you talking about?
Yeah.
Why you get him McDonald's and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, I have a way to I got a way to deal with that situation to you know, I got a way to get around that, and a way to answer that. Yeah, I will if I liked your kids.
Okay.
And if I had a relationship with your kids.
Okay, you sounded crazy. Let's move
on. I'm telling the truth. If I had, I'm being transparent.
All right, we got it.
Nope. If I liked your kids,
you already said it though. You gonna keep saying it. He want y'all to know.
And I had a relationship with them before, and I had the financial means. Yes, all the kids could get McDonald's. If I don't like your kids, nope.
Okay, all right. You sound crazy right now. All right, we go. Why don't you fix your face? How long before your spouse get to meet your kids, and is it a different timeline between boyfriend and girlfriend versus a wife? Like, did your wife meet your kids faster than a girlfriend would, or?
This right here is a situation that I just battle. This is a continuous. Back then,
what up, Reed?
Reed talking about me too. You feel me? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So. This is a more difficult question than the last, because I actually have to get a chance to live this part, which I never thought I'd get to that, because I'm used to doing what I want to do with my kids. But you know, now, yes, it's a time limit, especially if they got other kids, because now I'm finding out, man, you have to be careful to who and what you expose your kids to. Now, my wife, my kids, I think in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, I think in that monogamy thing, that whole thing, I don't know, man. Like that's a hard one right there, because you get your kids to know somebody just to break up with them, and you might not, and you done exposed them to
Yeah.
this person's spirituality, this person's attitude, walk, and that's just confusing for a child. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a different dynamic in marriage because this till death do us part. This is like, this is my wife. This is who I'm gonna be with, and I think on the mother's end, I think with even them, and I've even struggled with this. Like, okay, my wife might have kids, and I know some things about them, and I might be like, the wife can meet them, but I don't want to particularly expose my kids to these kids and them rub off on my kids because I'm dealing with them in a different capacity. Now, until I get to that space where me and her children are building on a consistent basis and they rolling with the rock, you know what I'm saying? And they being like that, but you know, because if you move too fast in those situations, it can be it's a detriment. I know we want to mush the family together and all that and all that, but it don't work like that. I'm a witness to it. I've been a part of it. I've seen it happen. You don't want to, man. Let me clarify that. I've been a witness to exposing your kids to other kids too early with relatives, and it's damaging. And who's right or wrong? Both sets of parents are wrong, or parents are wrong for doing this. You know what I'm saying? You just can't mesh everything together. You don't know what type of trauma and background this child has, and you don't know what kind of trauma and background, and you don't want to put them together in privacy settings. You don't know, just think about when you was young. I'm just going to go back to me being totally transparent. They mushing me and cousins that ain't really cousins together in rooms, and we play humping. It don't make no sense. Like how did we get to we little and we on some sexual stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because I was exposed to something, they was exposed to something, and we coming together with our common knowledge and putting that together. We playing doctor, we playing house, and we experimenting. And any set of kids can do that, right? But why put your kids in that type of position? So yeah, and it might be complicated and offensive. And I was always like, when I have had a few women that wanted me to meet their kids instantly, and I was kind of like, that's why I really never had a girlfriend, because I don't want to get to know them yet. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna continue with you. Now I feel like you bombarding me, like, don't do that to me, don't put me in that position, and then don't have me loving your child just to take them away from me. Like, it's all type of elements and components to that. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. So I just, that question, I think it is a fine line in marriage. If you marriage, when your wife should be able to meet your children, as long as you know your children and how to, put that whole and line that thing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you know how to line it, because you should know your children, and you should know
your wife,
and you should know your wife, right?
And you should, if she got children, you should know them too.
Right.
But I mean, I know I don't know. I was kind of gonna project here because me and Kara, we got married faster than most people do, but we don't got kids,
right?
So we don't have children to integrate. So, and I kind of was gonna say, well, people get married at different, but we didn't have the different things that you had to consider. We didn't have nobody else to consider but me and her, so never mind that.
Right. But so yeah, man, I think boyfriend and girlfriend relationships, that's monogamous. I think, man, if y'all planning to get to the goal line, I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's totally, no matter how God-fearing a man is, how God-fearing a woman is, you just don't know. And I just don't think you should expose your child to type of thing.
Man, back in the day when I was reckless, if a woman, I wasn't trying to meet nobody kids, but if she pushed her kids on me, that's the last time you see me.
Wow.
It's over.
Rico.
Because I know what you're trying to do. Nah, it's over.
And so my sentiments on that is, yeah, I think the boyfriend girlfriend relationships, keep the kids out of it unless y'all planning to go to the goal line and y'all know for certain and show this what it's gonna be. And and if they gotta be exposed to a person because of emergency reasons, that's different. But it's all type of reasons. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think your kids should be exposed to meeting people that you don't know that are only going to be temporary in your life.
What about you, Alan? What you think?
Is Alan froze or is you?
Nah, he there.
Hey, brothers, I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, is there a difference between step parenting versus regular parenting?
I'm gonna tell you. Well, I'm gonna get a little heavy on this one. So, me finding out that is just like in meeting, you have to take your time. Mm-hmm. You cannot parent your stepkids the way you parent your kids that you know, that you've raised, that you've been around.
Hey, Reed, you want to come up on the panel? Reed got some wisdom on this baby mama topic. Well, ex-wife topic.
You like
he might have something to give to
Reed.
To the people.
Reed, won't you come on in?
My bad.
But you can't rush that at all. It's a different, because I'm not gonna lie, I made the foolish mistake of thinking I'm a daddy, so I'm gonna be a daddy regardless to whoever. Mm-hmm. And the way I school my kids, I can't, because my kids don't even like they don't like the way I school them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I definitely can't take my wife kids, because they're the only kids are gonna be I can't take them and school them how I school my kids. You know what I'm saying? And I've made that mistake on several occasions. Mm-hmm. And it's a detriment, because you got to start all over. You got to start all the way over once you mess up. Unless you had that baby, unless you had a step kid and you knew that baby since they were like a baby or little or something, mm-hmm. where they can't remember. But like, it's for older children from marriages and past relationships, you have to treat them different, and it's more sensitive, because they dealing with more trauma. Mm-hmm. Like, my mama married to this new dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He ain't my daddy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's a kid go to when, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to parenting classes, bro, because I get down with my kids and I owe them big apologies. I get down on my kids. I talk to them. My wife be checking me still to this day. Like, Dad, why they so harsh? Like, I get, but they my kids. But still, it's a way to operate with your children, grown, small, little, whatever. And maturity and wisdom from God, and just learning and talking and wise counsel has told me, like, nah, you can't rock with them like that. And God himself has personally told me, you need to fall back on that. Mm. You got to tighten up. You got to get that together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you gotta get off of that. So yeah, man. It's definitely a different dynamic, and you have to shoulder. This is gonna sound crazy, right? You love your kids to death. You love them, your kid. You love them to life. You have to shoulder an extra amount of love for the stepkids. You can't have the same love you got for your kids, no type of way, and not negatively. I'm talking about you have to shoulder You know how Ed made you feel? Uncle Ed Smokefish made you feel like you have to have that type of love where they fall in love with you and feel like that's my daddy.
Mhm.
Like you can't have. You have to shoulder an extra load of love. That's crazy. That sounds crazy for those children.
I don't think it's extra love. I think it's you got to be intentional about building that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because how can you love somebody extra?
Yeah, I mean,
it's either you do or you don't.
Yeah, you love somebody. I mean, you
got to go out of your way. You got you got to be intentional about it. Like I mean, I don't got no kids, but just like Zoe running in and out of here. That's my niece. I didn't have to really think about loving her.
Right.
It was just already worked in. It was already baked in. Since she got here and we never looked at each other any different way. But then when you are, I'm assuming, not speaking from experience, but just when you meeting other people or other kids, it's like, and you're in a delicate, intimate situation with them. It's like, Zoe, my niece, I can kick her out and send her next door to mama house and to grandma house, and but my step kid would live here. So I can't kick them out. I can't turn that off. I have to be intentional about loving them and building it. So I get what you're saying.
Man, listen. I slipped up so many times with just that. Like, I get my kids out of here and say some slick that maybe sound foul type stuff, and then you turn around and say that to your step. You can't do that. You got because then
it's gonna hit different,
and then your
son might look at you like you crazy. Your stepson gonna look like, man, this dude just said to me.
Yep. And then guess what happened? You gotta start. Oh, it's the whole cycle of like I told my kid, I tell my regular, man, I don't mess with you like that. And they know I'm just saying it because I'm disappointed and mad at them. But then I turn around and say to my stepkid, they take that super personal.
Yeah, because you don't have to reinforce with your natural kids the way that you have to reinforce your love with your stepkids. Because your natural kids, they know you. They know you look like. It's like they're entitled. I feel entitled to your love, like regardless. Your stepkids may still or go through a stage and be like, yeah, I feel it, and yeah, you say it, but I don't know, because you know what I'm saying? Like,
you'd have told me off once too many times. So
yep, exactly.
Ooh, that's right, Gail. Mm-hmm. Gail, I had to do it. I just had to do it. Don't leave me. No, don't leave me. No. You got some more questions for me, Reek? I gotta use the Look, Reek Lee, the show is over, y'all. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now the show is over. But yeah, man, I think this I think I've come to a conclusion. I think I've come to a better understanding of why I don't hate my baby mama. I understand why. Yeah, he got up out of here, Gil. He was sick of it. He's sick of it. He's done. So, I think the last question that he had for me is, do you really hate your baby mama? Now, I've said it all through the show that I didn't hate my baby mamas and I don't have beef with them. And I got a sincere answer, and it comes with a multiple of factors. It's a multiple of factors in this answer. Do you really hate your baby mama? J. Mar Bless. J1 Bless. Do you hate your baby mama? School, do you hate your baby mama? I don't hate anyone. And the question is, do I hate my baby mamas? No, I don't really hate my baby mama. I really
Jamar, I'm telling on your kids.
okay, what they done did. I really don't hate my baby mamas. And considering that I had a great thought process and the Holy Spirit led me into and wisdom led me to thinking that I was really the problem in most of these situations. I created this avenue by not knowing some of them and by leading them on. So no, I don't hate my baby mamas, and I really love all my children. And I think God is great and wonderful to how he's led me to be able to have all of these children and not have the best education, but have enough to do for, not have to be a criminal to do so. And being able to just have a relationship, rather good or bad, with my children, because those things, being able to have a relationship, period, is just a starting point to be able to correct the relationship. Not having a relationship at all, this is where it's wrong. This is where we go bad. This is where it gets bad. This is where it's terrible, when you're not able to have that relationship or communication. Now, like I said, I got a relationship with my kids, and some of the relationships are bad. We don't have as much communication, but I know, just in due time, we will be able to come to, because sometimes it took me, like my mama told me, I was talking, she thought I was coming at one of my kids crazy about a life decision that they made. And she came at me and she was like, look, you was up in your 30s by the time you start, catching on and smelling yourself the right way. And so how you, and I'm like, no. But I understood what she was saying. And though they might not be I still love them. And though they might not be at the point to where we can communicate those things, because they're not in the point of, because it took me a long time to learn unselfishness. I still work with that. I got other relationships outside of my children. I'm trying to learn how to work that whole thing out. So that's crazy. You still want to? That's Ronald Rag. Let me see if you still want to come in, even though it's time to go.
Yeah, come on, so just so I can say what's up. Your kids cross the street.
Oh yeah, Jane. Nah, Jamie, I can't tell. They both.
All of them.
You about to go? Hold on. Huh? You leave me some burgers, bro? I'm just. I love you.
Right. I love you too.
No, I love my wife. Why don't you come over here real quick?
Bye.
Excuse me.
You're in the middle of a show.
That's my wine.
You gonna see her in 13 minutes?
Come on over here, baby.
Come on, interrupt the show. Come on.
Rico talking about baby. I don't sound like that. But anyway. Yes, you're doing. I like it. I love you. Thank you for stopping by. I love you too. See you later. So bye, Nia. So I done forgot. But
yeah. Good show.
Yeah. I done forgot. It's all. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, Ronnie. Listen, I'm trying to get my baby mom the phone now.
Well, what up anyway, Ronald? I ain't seen you in 30 years, but what up? Grace and peace. This ain't gonna be the last show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Catch you on the next one.
Any closing arguments?
So there's got to be a part two. So in retrospect, yeah, I don't hate my baby mamas.
As you should.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about, I believe in 2-parent households. I believe in marriage. And if I married you and you got kids, I love you and your kids. And if we got a child together, best believe I'm going over and beyond to create a relationship with that child. Me and my kids got a relationship and a bond, regardless if we into it or not. I let God intermingle and intertwine and put his hands on everything, because I have control of nothing. I let God control everything, but the things that God gives me dominion over and control over, I will do my best to abide in the right way and do.
God say you gotta love your baby mama too.
I mean, I love
all of them.
I love everybody.
Amen.
So, like I said, I hate none of them. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say you love all of them.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
we love you with the love of Christ in the name of Jesus.
Ronald Ragley time. Sir William talking about when I get to come in next Friday. So
you rude. You just babysitting. You texting.
Yeah,
you just doing that.
So,
it's your show. Let me get off the screen. Let me get out of here.
I'm from the hood. Yeah, we do it all. So thank you for typing in. You have been removed from the stream. So thank you for tuning in. Push the Rock podcast. This episode 3. I love you too. I hate my baby mama. Now what is we progress is that we move forward and that we just keep pushing the rock, that we keep walking in love. And so I got some scriptures. So, but there's one. Okay. And I had 3 scriptures and
You do got 3. You got it formatted like the name is under the scripture. So the scripture that you're looking for is above the.
Right. I got it.
You see it?
Yeah. What is going on?
Get yourself together.
So, hey, all of these things, these broken homes come from not doing things the way God has designed. And this explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife. The two are united. That's Genesis 2:24, chapter 2:24. You know what I'm saying? You get married and join your wife, and God is the head. You know what I'm saying? Then the husband is the head, and then the wife is the head over the children in the household and the heart. So then we got 1 Corinthians 11.
You gonna read the scripture?
Yeah, but there is one thing
No, you gonna read the Genesis scripture?
I already read it.
Did you?
Yes, I just already read it and explained it. You just missed the whole thing. I just read it and explained it. You didn't hear me just read that and explain that?
You kind of read it. Go ahead. This your show. Go ahead.
No, I read the whole thing. But there is one thing that I want you to know. The head of every man is Christ. The head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. That's how it is. That's how it is. And then fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up in discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. And that comes from relationship. And that comes from leadership. And that comes from, man, regardless of the relationship you got with your baby mama, rock with your kids. Don't let, if y'all got a flawed relationship, mess up what y'all got. Do not provoke them to wrath. And sometimes it's just nature. Sometimes if your baby mama got your child more than you, and you trying to build a relationship, they take their mama's side. You have to be patient with that and walk through that, but never stop loving them. Never give up on the relationship. Keep on fighting for that relationship, because that they have to come out and learn you are not the person that you were in the relationship with the mother as, because that's all they know. The mother might be planting stuff in their head. You can't combat them the way you combat her, or you did combat her. You have to walk with them in a different light, in a different way, and show them that you are different, and it takes consistency. So do not provoke your children to wrath. Love your children. Learn that they have trauma too, from y'all not being with they together, from whatever they heard, or what you might even been with their mama, and they might have seen some things that turned their nose up. But now you got to show them that it's different, and you got to stay consistent. It can't be word of mouth. They have to see. And you can't never stop being on top of them and loving them and, showing them that you love them. You have to give them grace as the Father in heaven has given you grace. And that's all I got on that. And so, any of y'all that seen the show and want to know how I got this glow, it's because somebody died for me to get this glow. Somebody died for me to get this growth. And that somebody was the Son of God, and I believed in that. And I confessed that with my mouth. And I believed in my heart that I would be saved. So Romans chapter 10, verses 8 through 11 is a call to salvation. But what does it say? The word is near you and in your mouth, and the heart that is the word of faith that we proclaim. Because if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, and you believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. For the scripture says, everyone who believes in him will not be put to shame. Some of y'all out there, you know what I'm saying, just thinking that because of what you heard, that Christianity is a white man's religion, or because you believe in God and all this and the universe and all this cool stuff, that if you believe in Jesus, that you will be put to shame. Nah. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. So if you heard anything today that pulls you closer and you feel it in your spirit, that's God calling you. If you know me, you like, yeah, I know him, and he sound like a totally, completely different person that I knew, that's because God changed you. And if you say the prayer, God, I believe, Lord, I come to you. I believe that you're a real God. I want to get to know you better. I believe that he said he confessed with his mouth. The same God that he said he confessed with his mouth died on Calvary. And even if you don't know the details, teach me the details, God. I want to know, because I believe, because I believe what you've done for him. Lord, I believe, and I confess with my mouth and believe in my heart that you can change me, that you can save me. And I lift these prayers to you, God. If you said anything like that, welcome to Life Row.
We love you, God.
What you got for me?
Good night.
Good night. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouVersion Bible app. YouTube, Crown of Glory 360. Hit us up. And we come to do what God do always. Spread love. That's the blessed way. That's the Yahweh.
Anyone
Peace.
comes to me and put anything or anybody before me in any capacity. Mm-hmm. That's your child, that's your mama, that's your wife, that's your friend, that's yourself. If you put you before him, you can't be my disciple. I need you absolutely surrender to me, because I got something for you. I put a deposit in you, and I need my
ROI.
Yeah.
For this reason, since the day we heard about it, we have not stopped praying for you, asking specifically that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will and all spiritual wisdom, with insight into his purposes and to understanding of spiritual things, so that you will walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, displaying admirable character, moral courage, and personal integrity, to fully please him in all things, bearing fruit in every good work, steadily growing in the knowledge of God, with deeper faith, clear insight, and fervent love for his precepts. We pray that you may be strengthened and invigorated with all power, according to his glorious might, to to attain every kind of endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father, who has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints and the light. Amen. Love y'all.
There's 2 point of views that's needed in that, in the marriage aspect. You know, those who have this.
Leave the sound effects to me, bro. Don't make me beat your mic.
But yeah, with those 2 point of views, man, before you get married, it's important that you set a foundation, and there has to be a foundation of will.
Well, we just trust in you, and we thank you. And no matter what situations, no matter what it looks like, what it may feel like, your word stands taller than everything. So we just want to just give you praise, thank you, and give you honor and glory, knowing that your promises are indeed 100%, 1 billion%, 1 trillion% true indeed. And we thank you, Lord, in the name of Jesus.
Amen.